How's it going? Today was a garage sale slash church sale day. Spent a total of just under $40, I think around 38, and this is what I picked up. And I also picked up two watches, and one's a really good one that I haven't found before, at least a real one. I found replicas of this brand, but never a real one. So I ended up picking up this lava lamp. It's probably from the 70s. It takes a while for these to heat up and for the wax to melt, but I did plug it in. It is working. And I think this hat alone will pay for everything what I bought today. Vintage snapback hat. Again, told you guys to look for K products or K brand. Made in the USA. The denim ones really sell well. So this is heavy denim and with a patch from a local feed store here in Indiana. So I think this hat alone should sell for probably at least $40. So just the hat will pay for everything I bought today. A couple vintage electronics. I haven't checked to see if these actually work, but the battery compartments look to be non-corroded, so I think they'll work. So I have a vintage Coleco electronic quarterback and have a Tandy Championship Golf still in the package. And then I'll take you guys upstairs to my little workshop where I work on watches. This is my little workshop station upstairs. I also do my eBay shipping up here, but pulled out all my watch parts and batteries and such to work on a couple watches I got today at a garage sale. I didn't show these last week. A couple interesting pieces. I think they're just costume, but I think these are... I'm not sure if these are sapphires, but I end up getting these couple vintage pieces of costume jewelry at a garage sale last week at the same place. Paid $3 a piece. The lady said this belonged to her mother, and the lady I got it from looked to be probably almost 80 years old, so I know this is a pretty old piece. And then she told me she got this at an estate sale like 30 years ago. So another interesting piece. I don't know much about costume jewelry. Doesn't appear to be gold, but I just thought an interesting pickup. And at the same place, she had this. I was looking for more of this type of stuff, but this is the only piece she had. And it's actually silver, and on the back here, see if you'll show up, but it's marked right there, 830. So 83% silver on that, and I paid I think $10 for the group. So like I said, these are my old watches I use for parts, repair, some tools, watch batteries, my tools, etc. Anyways, I went to a garage sale today, and it looked like it was a mixture of a few different people's stuff. And the couple running it looked like to be in their 50s, and I didn't see much that I was interested in, so I asked them if you have any old toys, watches, etc. And the guy told me he had a couple watches he got from the 80s and 90s that he wasn't sure if they worked or not. And I said, sure, I'll take a look. And he brought out like 5, and I was interested in these 2 he brought out. So I ended up having a, probably from the 90s, it's a Seiko Quartz. And it has that royal oak design, and he said he's been sitting in his drawer for years and wasn't sure if it worked or not. So I put a battery in that, and it does work. And then I saw this, and I asked him what the story with this was, and he said his first job was making some decent money, and he wanted a very nice watch. So he went to the jewelry store and ended up getting this. It's a Tag Heuer Professional 1000. And he said back then he spent a lot of money on this for the time. He said he paid almost $600 for this back in the 80s. So you can tell it was a well-loved watch. He must have worn it a lot because it has a lot of scratches and wear. The band is stretched. He told me about 15 years ago it stopped running, so he sent it into the factory and they repaired it. And then about 3 years after he got it back, it stopped working. So he didn't know if the battery was dead or it was broken. So he just put it in the drawer and kind of forgot about it. And until I asked. So he said he hadn't even thought about this watch for 10 years. So I asked him how much he wanted. And he said since he didn't know if they worked, he's like, how about $20? He said he knew this is a pretty good watch. And I said, yeah, $20 is a fair deal. I knew this watch alone is probably worth 60 to 100 just for parts. And sure enough, I get home, take it apart and put a new battery in, and it does work. So it is keeping time. One thing about this brand, you have to worry about fakes, but based on his story, what it looks like on the inside of the watch, the weight of it, this is a real tag. So this will go in my personal collection. I don't come across these dive type sports watches much. They're usually the dress style watch. So whenever I come across a nice sports / dive watch, I like to add those to my collection. So very good find. I think in this condition, running this watch was worth probably $200 to $300. Maybe on the lower range because it has some scratches and wear, but still a very nice piece to go in my personal collection. So thank you guys for watching and making the comments, and appreciate if you guys that aren't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that notification button, and you'll see more of my pickups. Until next time, take care.